Self-storage is billed as the only real estate play that literally prints money while you sleep. No toilets to unclog, no tenants sobbing at 2A, no recession strong enough to stop people from needing a place to dump their ex's sofa. But here's the punchline nobody tells you before you wire a 7-figure check. The average facility keeps less than half of what the tenants hand over every single year. It's not a vacancy, it's not the economy. It's a special kind of customer that can vanish with 10 days notice, forever. So, does self-storage actually print money, or does it secretly shred it? Stick around, because the answer decides whether you pour concrete or just buy stock in the company that already did. Do not answer yet. Section 1. The Obsession Numbers. Back in the 1960s, a dusty Texas cattle road hosted the very first row of metal garages. Fast forward, self-storage is now a $60 billion a year American habit. More facilities, 53,000 than McDonald's, Starbucks, and Subway combined. 1.7 billion square feet. That's 9 square feet of storage for every person in the country. National occupancy? 92% higher than office space, higher than most apartments. But that's not even the real problem. If the demand is sky high, why do operators still surrender half their rent? Wait, what? Section 2, Human Archetype and Stakes. Jay Patel, 38, immigrant pharmacist, sells his chain of drugstores. He drops $1.2 million of life savings into a 60,000 square foot facility outside Phoenix. Jay has one mantra: no toilets, no tenants, how hard can it be? 2 years later, Jay looks at his books. $900,000 of rent walks in the front door, but only $440,000 stays for coffee. Money is ghosting him harder than a dating app match. Jay's not alone. It happens in 3 out of 4 first-time buys. So what's vaporizing the other half? Here's where it gets interesting. Section 3, Location Myths Debunked. Rooftops within 5 miles. Household sizes are shrinking. Apartment rents are climbing. Phoenix, Orlando, Austin. Permits in those cities jumped 28% last year because those 3 metrics are on fire. Build within 1 mile of a new subdivision, and you lease up 30% faster than the guy 3 miles out. Too much visibility? Land price spikes past what rent can ever justify. The sweet spot is the boring stretch of secondary road commuters pass daily and other investors scroll right past. Aha moment. You're not buying foot traffic, you're buying habitual drive-bys. But that still doesn't explain why Jay's profits are evaporating. Section 4, The Brutal Budget. Total project, $4.9 million. Debt covers 75%. Jay's cash in, $1.2 million. You just spent more on galvanized steel closets than most people spend on a lifetime of closets at home. Wait, what? I mean it. Now the operating burn. Property tax, $45,000. Your insurance, $30,000. Utilities, more if climate controlled, $25,000. Payroll, 1 full-time manager plus weekend help, $65,000. Marketing, $18,000. Maintenance, processing, software, $22,000. Capital reserves, roof, gate, asphalt, $15,000. Total, $220,000 a year. Gone, just to keep the lights on and the gate humming. Miss 2 months of delinquent rent, and that margin doesn't shrink, it evaporates. Remember, every lease here ends with 10 days notice. So, how are veterans still cashing 6-figure checks? Section 5, The Secret Revenue Stack. Scenario, 500 units. Small locker, $45 mo. Boat bay, $325 mo. Gross potential rent, $900,000. Reality after concessions and 8% vacancy is approximately equal to $780,000. Dynamic pricing software, same algorithm airlines use. Heat wave, climate-controlled rate jumps 6% overnight. Late fees, 2-3% lift. Tenants, forget autopay. Pay $20 for the privilege every month, forever. Tenant protection plans. Not insurance, because you're not licensed. 70% margin plus $25K a year for almost zero work. Monthly rate increases. Leases reset every 30 days, so operators raise 6-8% annually with zero negotiation. That's exactly how Public Storage cranked revenue 13% in 1 year without adding a single renter. Reward beat. You're not selling space, you're selling time, and time gets a little more expensive every month. But wait, there's a layer almost nobody talks about. Section 6, the hidden toppings. Those 40 bare asphalt spots? Stripe them for RVs and boats at $80, $150 a month equals $50K yearly with zero construction. Small businesses pay just to list a physical address. Vendors pay you to drop an ATM or propane cage. Cell tower operators offer a 2-0-year contract escalating 4% a year, rain, shine, or recession. Reality TV moment. Every seized unit adds a $100 prep fee. It won't retire you, but stacked across hundreds of units, it's pure gravy. Together, those toppings pad NOI by roughly 10% without adding a single new tenant. Nobody talks about this moment. Sounds unstoppable until the city quietly rezones one more cornfield down the road. Suddenly, 80,000 brand new square feet flood your 3-mile bubble. Rents drop 10% overnight, and it can take 2 years to crawl back. Wait, what? The real killer isn't vacancy, it's supply shock. Section 7, Risk Landmine Map. Debt stack. Banks stick to 65% LTV, but newbies pile on mezzanine debt to juice returns. When rates reset higher, a shiny 8% yield flips negative in one refinance. Tax reassessment. Does the county assessor see your occupancy rise? Congrats, your property tax just spiked, effective immediately. Lien law tripwires. Miss one certified mail deadline before the auction, and you're not facing a bad month, you're facing a lawsuit. Amazon and e-commerce conversions. Returns explode. Logistics companies grab empty big box stores and compete head-to-head for the exact climate-controlled square feet you thought were yours alone. So, with risk everywhere, who's actually winning the game? Section 8, the twist. Brand versus boxes. 4 public companies, Public Storage, Extra Space, CubeSmart, Life Storage, own just 1/4 of the facilities, yet vacuum royalties from thousands more. Management and branding fee is approximately equal to 6% of revenue. Operating margin, 75%. They never buy dirt, never pour concrete. They collect cash from owners like Jay for the privilege of the orange logo. Lead gen middlemen sparefoot, take a slice without touching a single roll-up door. Lenders collect interest whether occupancy sits at 50% or 95%. The brand often makes more than the building. So, do you want to own steel boxes or the name on them? Section 9, exit strategy plus ROI. Stabilized NOI, 92% occupancy, $560,000. Market cap rate, 6.2%. Implied value is approximately equal to $9 million. He invested $1.2 million. 5 years later, that's $5.2 million in paper equity, roughly a 31% annualized return. But the buyer pool for a mid-size facility is razor thin. If interest rates spike the month you list, you might be staring at an empty inbox. Smarter veterans refi instead, pull cash out tax-free, and ladder up into a portfolio or merge into a REIT before it ever hits the open market. Winning in storage is less about square footage and more about exit optionality. Ending. Where does the missing 50% go? It drips into taxes, tech, turnover, and most of all, the silent royalties paid to the brand riding on top of the metal. Do you strap on a hard hat, fight Google ads at $5 a click, and pray the city doesn't rezone your backyard? Or do you license the name, control the eyeballs, and get paid whether the doors roll up or rust shut? In self-storage, space is cheap, but attention is compound interest. Pick which one you want to own.